daughters, sisters, and wives. He says they're gonna change our lives. He says be women, be girls. They'll make a better world. Invest in her. Invest in her. Invest in her. Invest in her. And now here's your host, Catherine Gray.
Welcome to this week's episode of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. And as you know, we are all about funding women, and so is my guest today. She's an angel investor herself, as well as CEO of Kadabra. Please welcome to the show, Wendy Ryan. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Catherine. It's so great to be here.
Thank you. It is great to have you. You know, I've wanted you on my show since I met you at the Heroica event that was online called Women Impact Summit. And that was, of course, put on by our friend Maika Gill. It was amazing. And we had such a great conversation about how important it is for women to be investors. So we're going to be talking about that. But first, I want everybody to learn a little bit about you. You're up in Silicon Valley, right?
I am.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's the great place to be if you're an investor, right? In fact, I don't even think they allow people to live there unless they're investors.
It can feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you're the CEO of Kadabra. Tell us about Kadabra. I know you help, from startups to Fortune 500s with leadership, strategy, vision, and even, funding. And so we're going to talk about all that. So tell me about Kadabra and all this great work that you've been doing for the last couple of decades.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, to say I did not start out as an investor. That was not my training, my education, my background. My education was always centered on people and psychology, organization development, human resources, and that's where the bulk of my career has been focused. And I formed Kadabra in 2014. We had a different name then, and as many companies do, you change your name as you get smarter about branding and all of that goodness. But I started investing in 2018, and most of my investments so far have been made through Golden Seeds, which is a large national angel investing group that we invest solely in women. So it's been an amazing education and experience. I had worked alongside investors for many years because of my work in leadership. So I knew the world of private equity. I knew something about venture capital. Angel investing was newer to me, and so that's been a fun and at times challenging learning curve, but one that I'm really grateful for.
Yeah, there is a learning curve for sure. And what I love about Golden Seas, and I'm glad that you mentioned them, is they're one of the angel investment groups out there that really caters to women and training women to learn about angel investing. So when there's listeners out there that are saying, I'd like to be an angel investor, but I don't know where to begin. Well, that's a perfect opportunity, is to go to somewhere like Golden Seeds or an angel investment group that's in your area, and they will literally educate you and train you. And it's a fun thing to learn, and a lucrative path, and something that every woman should be doing. If I could wave a magic wand and have every woman in this country invest in another woman, that's what I would do to level the playing field, since we get less than 2% of all the venture capital funding and not much more of the other avenues of funding. So I love that you're an angel investor and that you didn't start out that way. And I love you sharing that story, because I hope other women are listening saying, oh, well, I'm a CEO of a company, or I'm a successful woman and I'm not an angel investor. Let me hear about Wendy's path and how she got into that, because that's what I want to learn about and do. I hope that's the conversation people are having with themselves.
Yeah, me too. I'm right there with you, and wanting to encourage as many people, however they identify, but particularly those who identify as women or, non-binary.
Hmm.
We need more people who are not cis hetero white men in the angel investing game, as well as venture capital, private equity, and all of those. But angel investing is something that the barrier to entry is actually pretty low. And I think most often, as we tend to do, unfortunately, women will sort of assume the barrier is much higher and assume, hey, because I'm not an investment banker, I must not be qualified to do this. And what I would say is there's so much more to it than just the numbers. So even if you feel like financial analysis and modeling is not something that you feel very confident in yet, one, you can learn what you need to know. And two, there's so much more to evaluating a business than just the numbers. There's leadership, there's the go-to-market strategy, there's product market fit, there's things that we bring from our life experience that helps us really understand in a profound way what are some of the problems that these companies are trying to solve for that are different than the experiences that again a white hetero cis man brings to that discernment. So
And,
I think
and
we have some superpowers we can leverage here.
absolutely. And why should they have all the fun?
Exactly.
We're when you're an angel investor, you get to peek behind the curtain and see what's being innovated that you otherwise wouldn't know about. And I have to say, every time I hear these women's incredible ideas, I get so excited. And like you said, you personalize it. You think, oh, I would use that product, or I would use that technology. And it's so eye-opening and so fun. Um, and like you said, you don't have to be a banker to get into angel investing. I think a lot of people don't do what they don't know. And
Right.
but what you have to tell yourself is, and this is something you and I've talked about, is that if the majority of investors is white men, that's going to be continue to be who the majority of recipients is. The only way to change it is that more women, people of color, LGBTQ are part of that scenario of being the investment decision makers. And so that's why we're encouraging you who are listening, women of all ethnicities and all ages, to jump into this game and learn it, because you don't want to just invest in, regular stocks and bonds and your everyday investments when you could be over here in this world where people are making a lot of money by investing in these unicorns. And the only people that have access to that are people like that are angel investors and partners in venture capital firms. So you have to step into that arena if you want to um, have that opportunity to make a lot of money in that arena. And you're not doing it for that reason, because obviously, I think you and I are doing it because we want to help other women. But the perk of it is they happen to have a 6 or 10 times, I just heard of a 50-time return that you would never get in the stock market or the bond market or even the real estate market, likely. So that's why you jump in. You jump in because it's the right thing to do ethically to help change the landscape. And then you're going to also benefit. And like you said, you want to join a group like that exists that can help you with this. Because if you're not an investment banker and you don't know much, you go into these angel groups and they know what they're doing. They know how to vet it. That's how I got started too. I jumped in with an existing group and have been learning from them. Wouldn't you agree? You probably have learned so much from Golden Seeds.
Oh, yeah, not just our formal training opportunities, which are fabulous, but just the mentorship and the generosity of the other investors who are primarily women, but not all, in sharing their opinions and experiences, and just listening to the questions that they ask and the way that they think has been so interesting, enlightening, and educational. And I think it's made me not just a better investor, but a better leader and executive as well.
I was just going to say that I can see how all of this would bring so much to your business, that when you're helping everyone from startups to Fortune 500 companies in their leadership and their vision, that you're having known this world of investment from angels to VCs brings so much to the table to help your clients that are all going to need funding or be growing their company with maybe going public or whatever. I can see how your expertise, having done this yourself, lends itself to your business as well.
And I think something that we haven't talked about yet, but strikes me as really important in this, is that a lot of times as women and those of us who are business owners and entrepreneurs, we tend to think small. We're very conservative when it comes to how we are willing to envision our own success. And I
Mhm.
think one of the benefits for me as being an angel investor is it's really helped me open up my thinking, and as I'm mentoring and advising other women, say, so why are you stopping there? Right? So where there's a bigger dream, there's a bigger opportunity, there's a bigger story here. And I think a lot of that just comes from, again, being involved in that world and seeing what is possible if we sort of dare to dream it, and giving ourselves permission to do that, to be big and bold and put a stake in the ground and say, I know no one's ever done this before, but I have what it takes to make this happen.
Yes.
That's really empowering for women.
Yes, it's why I just launched an e-course called 6 Ways to Fund Your Business. And it's because women don't tend to know all the various ways that they could get funding and grow their business. And they get to a certain point and they just stay status quo when they could take it to the next level, like you said. And we have to instill in women to be fearless in that arena and to know that there's other women out there that will help them with this. And I think that's an important message that we need to get out there, is that there is help and there is support. And would you say, how did you get involved with Golden Seeds? What made you decide to reach out to them? Like, what was your journey?
For me, it was really when I became interested in this idea and was in the exploration, discovery phase of that. I knew from the get-go that I was going to want to invest in BIPOC, LGBTQ, women-led companies. So I wanted to be very, I don't know that I would qualify as an impact investor, but I would say that for me, that was really important. Who was I investing in?
Mhm.
And so I looked, I did a search and I looked at who is really active in doing that, who is actually successfully and in a meaningful way investing in women. And Golden Seeds came up very consistently in every report, every search, as being in the top one or two um, groups that were doing this and had been doing it for a long time. That was the other thing that was important to me. A lot of new funds and a lot of new groups have popped up, especially I think spurred by the Me Too movement, which is great. But there's something different about joining a more mature organization that's kind of got some of these things figured out on the education side, and one that is still sort of getting its sea legs when it comes to being in that market. So I wanted to go with experience in this case because I knew I had so much to learn.
Yeah, I mean, they have been around, I think, one of the longest for sure, and
Yeah.
one of the most robust educational programs, and have done some of the biggest amount of investing overall. And I just want to touch on what you just said because it's very exciting. Yes, there are so many uh, women founded funds popping up now all over the country and all over the world. I know I recently spoke to people starting one in Mexico, in Turkey, in Nigeria, in the UK. It's very exciting. This is what will help level the playing field, but every woman's got to do her part. And that's why, as women are listening, I hope they are inspired by your story about, being a successful businesswoman, but going ahead and taking that leap of learning how to be an angel investor. It's so important that we all do that. And I hope every woman listening today will, Google that angel investment group in their city and go join and become a part of this exciting world. Lucrative world, also exciting. But speaking of lucrative, tell us about, if you can share, any investment that you might want to share with us that has been really one that you're really proud that you got behind.
Well, there are certainly a couple that I'm really excited about and have been especially meaningful. One of them is Tomboy X, which is
Oh,
a
I know that
fashion.
one. I
Oh,
love
you do?
that.
Yes, a
Yes.
fashion brand,
Yeah.
and they've done really really well, and they're actually preparing to grow the company and to make some executive transitions because they've been so successful. So I'm very excited about both the impact they're having on the world through the brand and the way they're supporting the community that has rallied around their brand, but also their financial success. The other one that is really really exciting is a company called Meet Elise, and this is a whole different sector, but they are building an AI solution for the residential leasing market. So it sounds at first glance like, wow, this is not nearly as exciting as a fashion brand, but it's incredible technology. They're doing really well, and they just have a fantastic CEO who is female, and she's built an amazing team. And she's um, much younger than I am. So also impressive is that she's doing this at a
Wendy, they're
far
all
earlier
younger than
stage.
us.
That's true, but it's like I wouldn't have had all those things together when I was her stage. So
Yeah, the
those are
millennials are
those are two really
amazing.
cool. Yeah, but I love, of course I love the others too. But
Yes. So, Meet Elise, is that an app people can download now?
you can, because it's B2B. So it's not
Oh,
something that
B2B.
for you and
Okay.
I, it's for the actual companies who have apartments, who have
Oh,
properties and are constantly, in the game of getting them leased.
oh my
So,
gosh, I love that. I
mhm,
want to know more.
yeah.
Yeah, exciting. This is the way I feel every week. I tell people you could go join a book club, but this is way more exciting. You get to hear pitches every week of what's, new and happening on the horizon in the tech world and healthcare
Yeah.
world and all various types of verticals. It really is very exciting. And meeting the women who create these things is just such a thrill, isn't it? You
It
know?
is. It
Yeah.
is. And I really appreciate being in spaces with other investors who happen to be women, whether it's Golden Seeds or it's a different, group, uh, where we get to talk and share our mutual excitement about business and about
Yes.
innovation and technology and all of those things. And I don't know about you, Catherine, but I have some wonderful, dear women friends here locally that just, they don't share my passion for that. So it's given me a space to really find my people when it comes to other women in business, and to not be shy about being excited about that or wanting to be in those conversations, or being ambitious. Like, ambitious is not a dirty word. Like,
Yeah.
we I want to encourage that in young women and
Yeah.
my peers.
Yeah. And they say, women are really good about giving to charity, which I, of course, am all about too, because we have She Angels Foundation that helps
Me too.
female founders that are helping, women. But in conjunction with giving to nonprofit, we should be investing in other women. And so this is the opportunity to do that, ladies. So jump in there, go find your local angel group, and you will not be disappointed. Very exciting world to swim in. Wendy, thank you so much for sharing your story. Um, People can find you where?
So I'm very active on LinkedIn. Wendy Ryan, again, CEO of Kadabra. With Kadabra has a K. So that's probably the best way to connect with me and get to know me better.
Great. And the website for Kadabra?
It's actually wearekadabra.com. Kadabra.com.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know where to find Wendy. You know where to find me on LinkedIn as well. We're also on Instagram, which is Catherine Gray at Invest in Her. And then also on everything, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Got it all covered.
Yeah, She Angel Investors. So you can find us both. Please do. We both love to hear from people and encourage other women to become angel investors. Wendy, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And everybody, remember to invest in her. Make it a great week.
Thank you.
Our theme music was created and produced by Lindsay Tomasic.